All right, we're heading to the very bottom of the world, Antarctica. This place is a continent of pure extremes. I mean, you're talking about the highest, driest, and coldest place on our entire planet. It's basically a gigantic desert of ice, holding something like 90% of all our fresh water. But, and this is the big but, beneath that calm, frozen surface, there are secrets. Secrets that could literally change everything we think we know about our world.
Just try to wrap your head around this for a second. The ice sheet that covers Antarctica is, on average, over a mile thick. A mile! And in some places, it's nearly 3 miles deep. That is a natural time capsule on a scale that's almost impossible to imagine. So it really makes you wonder, right? What in the world is hiding down there?
So in this explainer, we're going to do a countdown. We're going to look at 5 of the absolute most chilling, most bizarre anomalies from that continent. And our little journey is going to start with some real confirmed scientific marvels. Then we'll dip into some truly strange possibilities. And we're going to end up right in the heart of some of the wildest conspiracy theories on Earth. You ready? Let's dive in.
Kicking things off at number 5, we've got something that looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Seriously, it's called Blood Falls. Just picture this. You're deep in the barren McMurdo Dry Valleys, and you see this pristine white glacier, and it looks like it's bleeding, just pouring red down onto an ice-covered lake.
So on one side, you have the phenomenon itself, a waterfall 5 stories high, just pouring out this visceral blood-red liquid. It is a genuinely unsettling sight. But the science behind it? Wow, it's actually even more fascinating. See, this isn't blood. It's ancient salt water, super rich in iron, that's been trapped under the glacier for millions of years. The moment it finally seeps out and hits the air, it oxidizes. It rusts instantly, creating that shocking red color.
But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. That trapped lake, it's not just salty water. It's a whole, self-contained ecosystem. It's teeming with microbial life that has evolved in total isolation, without light, without oxygen, for eons. Blood Falls is the absolute proof that life can find a way, even in the most extreme, seemingly impossible places we can imagine.
Coming in at number 4, we're shifting gears a little. We're moving from established science into the world of deep speculation. We're talking about the so-called pyramids of Antarctica. And the question here is a big one. Are these just mountains, or are they evidence of something, well, something far more extraordinary? This whole story really kicks off thanks to modern technology. Satellite images from places like Google Earth revealed these peaks just poking through the ice sheet. Now, geologists call them nunataks, but a few of them have this uncannily perfect shape. 4 steep, triangular faces meeting at a single point. They look almost identical to the pyramids at Giza.
And of course, this is where the speculation just explodes. Now, look, geologists have a straightforward explanation. This is just the natural result of millions of years of ice and wind erosion carving the rock. But that hasn't stopped people from asking a much more tantalizing question. Could they be man-made? Could a civilization, maybe even Atlantis, have thrived there when Antarctica was a green continent only to be flash frozen and buried by a past ice age?
At number 3, we shift from a potential ancient civilization to a very real and very current threat. Because as the ice melts, Antarctica isn't just giving up its secrets. It might be unleashing its dangers, and something very, very old is waking up.
48,500 years. Let that sink in. That's the age of the oldest zombie virus that scientists successfully revived after it was found frozen in Siberian permafrost. These ancient microbes are perfectly preserved in the ice, and as it thaws, they are literally coming back to life. And this really lays out the frightening chain of events. First, global temperatures rise, and the permafrost begins to melt. That, in turn, releases these ancient viruses and bacteria that have been dormant for millennia. Now, here's the problem. Modern humans have never been exposed to these things, so we have absolutely no natural immunity. The fear is that just one of these microbes could trigger a new global pandemic unlike anything we've ever seen.
For number 2, we jump from a future threat to a historical impossibility. It's an artifact that, according to our established timeline of history, simply shouldn't exist. It's the Piri Reis map, created way back in 1513, and it contains information that was impossible for anyone to have at the time.
Okay, let's break down this paradox. In 1513, the Ottoman admiral Piri Reis puts together a world map. The part of the map that survived shows something astonishing: the northern coast of Antarctica. But here's the real kicker. It depicts the coastline as it would look without its ice cap. Now, jump forward to 1820. That's when humans officially discovered the continent for the first time. And by then, it was already buried under miles of ice, as it has been for thousands of years.
So this is the central mystery. The map is real. The depiction is eerily accurate according to our modern seismic surveys. How on earth could a 16th century cartographer, using even older source maps, have known the true shape of a landmass that no one had seen in recorded history, a landmass hidden beneath an impenetrable sheet of ice? It just doesn't add up. And that brings us to our number one anomaly, where official history collides head-on with one of the most enduring and fantastic conspiracies of the 20th century. It all revolves around a decorated American hero, Admiral Richard E. Byrd, and a massive military operation called highjump. The official story is straightforward enough. In 1946, the U.S. Navy sent a huge naval fleet. We're talking aircraft carriers, submarines, thousands of men, down to Antarctica. The stated goal was scientific, train personnel, test equipment in the freezing cold, and establish an American research base.
But the unofficial story is something else entirely. According to the conspiracy theories, Admiral Byrd didn't just map ice. He allegedly discovered an opening near the South Pole that led into the Earth's interior. There, he found a hidden, temperate land with mammoths, lush vegetation, and a mysterious, highly advanced civilization that flew in disc-shaped flying craft. The story goes that these craft attacked the U.S. fleet, inflicted heavy casualties, and forced Operation Highjump to be aborted months ahead of schedule.
This wild story taps directly into the hollow Earth theory, this age-old belief that our planet isn't a solid sphere, but that it actually contains a vast hidden world inside, maybe even with its own sun and inhabitants. Admiral Byrd's alleged secret diary became the cornerstone, the absolute foundation for modern belief in this theory.
So as we finish our countdown from scientifically explained oddities to mind-bending historical artifacts and wild conspiracies, we're left with this one big question. Are these stories just fiction? Or are they fragmented warnings and clues about what truly lies beneath all that ice? Fact or fiction, one thing is certain. Antarctica is not done giving up its secrets.